Hello and welcome to episode 198 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic is how to market.
Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lynn Trin.
Today's episode stems from the fact that I get constantly asked questions every single day. Lynn, how do I get more leads? And how do I make more sales? Lynn, how do I get more clients inside of my coaching business? And if you're stuck inside of that boat, I think this podcast episode is going to allow you to understand kind of the foresight and the insight as to how I think. More importantly, how I think is a culmination of how other people think that I've just studied from and learned from years. So I really hope that this can be impactful and insightful today. Now, with that being said, I truly believe that the number one job of marketing isn't to generate leads. It isn't to go out there and put out an ad and to get 100 new applicants who absolutely don't know who you are, who are never going to buy from you, but you've just got their name, email, phone number, and pretty much you're off to the races. I really believe that the goal of marketing, if you market correctly, is to persuade, influence, seduce your prospects to buy from you, to create a story inside of their mind and get them sold before they ever speak to you. So the sales process becomes a process of, hello, would you like what I have? Yes, here are the details, and how would you like to pay? That's how easy the sales process is. And if you speak to anyone from my team, or if you speak to my clients, you'll know that anytime I go through a sales process, it is a nice 5-10 minute conversation to confirm what my prospect has already been thinking. I like the concept of having to build a business where everything runs really smoothly, everything runs really effectively. You know, we're A players of the Spartan 300 as opposed to building out thousands and thousands and thousands. I'm exaggerating here, but you know what I mean. Building out thousands of salespeople trying to hustle and call every day. I don't believe that's efficient, and you're going to break down inside of the process. So let me kind of let you into my mind of how I believe my marketing works and how marketing works for us. And if you can take this on board inside of your coaching business, it's going to have profound effects. And with that being said, my number one thought of marketing is to persuade, to influence a prospect to buy from me, to influence them, to seduce them to buy from me. And by the time they're ready to buy, they're good to go. Now, how do we do this? Well, marketing consists of two things. It consists of things that I didn't know when I started out. I was a personal trainer in the gym. Marketing to me was prospecting the gym floor. Actually, I didn't even prospect the gym floor. Most of the time, I got busy enough to sustain 10 clients. And from there, I would get 1 to 2 referrals a month. And that's how I grew my business. I came from no marketing background. But this is what we do with our marketing. Direct response is your ability to put $1 into paid advertising and generate revenue. So you may have heard of funnels, you may have heard of or seen webinars, or you may have seen lead magnets. These things are called direct response. You're going down, you're paying for advertising. You're utilizing that to acquire customers, or you're acquiring a list. And inside of the list that you acquire, you can communicate with them, such as via email. You can communicate with them via podcast. I mean, on these podcast episodes, we have over 1,500 listeners a day, which is tremendous, right? You can also get them to subscribe to your Facebook posts, YouTube channels, and all sorts of greatness. But the whole point of direct response marketing is to acquire a customer in the shortest amount of time possible. Now, a lot of personal trainers fail at doing this. And the reasons why they fail at doing this is because they become the bottleneck of the business. What I mean by that is, if you need to acquire a customer, and in terms of direct response, if you want to generate leads, there needs to be a salesperson. And generally inside of your business, if you are the only person running your business, you are the salesperson. If you're a salesperson, guess what? You create a bottleneck. So all these leads come into you, you're the bottleneck. And how it leads to becoming almost disastrous is you've got a ton of leads coming to you, you're the bottleneck, and you don't even have your fulfillment system sorted. You don't know how to coach clients in a leverage way. So just imagine this. Just imagine a bunch of people jumping up to you, running to you, and you're trying to sort them all out. You're spending 15, 30 minutes on the phone with them, and then basically, you're standing there And then the people that get by because they've bought from you, they stand behind you, but now they've got nothing to do because you're not actually looking after them. Okay, and so you pile that on. And so you're constantly juggling between sales and then fulfillment and then sales and then fulfillment. And if you've ever heard this quote before, it's that you can't do everything inside of your business. I want you to pick 2 tasks to do, 2 tasks to be amazing at. Okay, if you can pick 2 tasks to be amazing at, what would they be? I truly believe that the entrepreneur needs to be at the forefront of his or her marketing, to understand marketing really, really well. And the second thing is the visionary, to see where the business is going. Okay, so everything else should be taken care of via automated or hired processes. This is something that I didn't know. This is something that we've had to transition into. And I hope you take this on board. And I get that if you are a person working solo, I want to help you out in the next podcast episode. But just imagine this for a second. Imagine 100 people running up to you, right? You're selling them. You sell 8 people and you're still speaking to the 100, right? You're on to the 80th people. Now you've got 8 people that you have to fulfill with, and they're just standing there waiting for you. So you're running back to these 8 people. You're fulfilling for them. You're telling them what they should be doing. You're telling them how to get results. You're trying to map out the roadmap, but then you have to go back into sales. And then guess what? You do this for a week. You do this for 2 weeks. You do this for a month. And then after that, you've lost the longevity. So that's the direct response marketing method. And that's how most trainers generate leads. That's how most trainers generate and acquire new customers. That's how most coaches do it, which is super. I mean, if you already look at that, that already looks really, really messy. The second thing to marketing, though, and I want to elaborate on this because I want to do another success series moving forward, going into episode 200. But the next marketing modality is branding. So if you imagine direct response as being half of the marketing, you imagine branding being the other half. The direct response is allowing you to bring in people into your world. The branding allows you to consolidate and it allows you to interact with them. Your brand allows you to interact with them and create stories inside of their mind so that they sell themselves. Your brand isn't about putting up Instagram photos, Facebook photos. That is part of your brand. But if you're branding that way, you're probably branding incorrectly. Branding is your ability to convey emotion and stories through your physical or digital items that you put out, through your brand, through your photos, through your videos, through your music, through your vlogs, through your blogs. That becomes your brand. That's almost all of your content. And your content becomes your brand. Now, I want to convey 2 things because you've got direct response. You've got where you're putting $1 into advertising, you're pulling in leads, and then you've got the brand. They work together simultaneously and they work and they flow along together in order to create desire for what it is that you have. Now, here's the biggest issue. When we dive into this, there are a lot of issues around coaches, but I want to lay out the 2 biggest issues. Number one, on the direct response marketing side, that the coaches become the bottleneck. Okay, you become the bottleneck because, like I said before, you're standing there trying to sell everyone, and then you're trying to fulfill, and then you run back to selling and try to fulfill. And in that case, you're going to burn out. You're going to burn out. So the second thing that you need, and that's looking at the biggest problem inside of our direct response, inside of our branding, right? The biggest mistake that I see is that coaches and trainers don't know what content to put out to create emotion, because they don't understand who their customer is. They don't understand who their client is. They don't understand what their pains are. They don't understand the stories that they're telling themselves. They don't know how to persuade and influence. So I hope I'm giving you some sort of insight as to what the problem could be and what the problem is inside of your business. And I want to bring this to your attention because it's so vital to understand marketing in such a way, because selling, if you understand marketing as that one big giant component out there, selling becomes really, really simple. People already sell themselves on you once you have your brand, once you have your stories, once you have your videos, once you have what it is that you do, your blogs, your content, all out, what it is that you do. People are just like, yep, I know this guy's the authority. The branding is a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being you're a complete newbie, you have no content, 10 being you dominate the marketplace, you are the expert. I jump onto your page, I jump into your blog, I jump into your Facebook videos, and I see without a shadow of a doubt that you are the complete go-to guru. Now, I'm going to leave this podcast episode here. I will continue this on the next episode. I truly believe that this is going to help you move your business forward 110%. We're not even looking. This is going to take you monumental shifts. It's going to allow you to think about how I think about processing stuff, and how I think isn't on me. How I think is a culmination of other people I've learned from. I've just been able to gather that data and put 2 and 2 together. Okay, so with that being said, I hope to sincerely see you on the next podcast episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. This was a lot of fun.
Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes, and feel free to leave a review, and that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks, and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients, and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.